And that's fair because, like you said, it could just be that special moment that you had with it. You're watching the movie, you had a great freaking time with it, and you're just like, you know what? I don't necessarily need to see this again, unless it's for that because we're talking about the Mario Brothers movie. Unless it's like, hey,
Yeah.
unless it's, hey, Dad, I want to watch this with you. Then you're just like, well, if I say no, I'm a dick. like I'm like, you know what? It's like, you know what?
No.
It's like, you know
Fortunately,
what? Listen, I love this movie, right? But I promised myself I would never watch it again. So you have to watch it by yourself.
Fortunately, my 14-year-old wants to watch movies like The Jerk and Blazing Saddles because I have him convinced that you will never see movies like this ever made again in your entire life. So just watch.
There you go.
You know, so
the way the culture is nowadays, they wouldn't be making those.
No,
you're willing to watch those.
It is really sad that because I thought growing up as a kid, definitely dealing with some of the damn shit that supposedly is going on. It's, I mean, it was like playful fun then. It was just a fucking movie, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could watch Blazing Saddles, laugh my ass off one day, and then go to school and be called like straight up ninja and shit, and I'd be like, well, Blazing Saddles was still fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, so it's different now. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so weird. It's weird now.
Everybody's done turned into wusses, and like I said, my 24-year-old even says, like, Dad, it's like stuff I could say 10 years ago, and I can't even say now. I was like,
yeah,
just imagine what my life is like.
And just, I was just thinking, just for the content alone, I feel like if it's art, it's art. It just has to be good at whatever it is. You know what I mean? If it sucks, talk shit about it.
I mean, Blazing Saddles is an American treasure. Jerk is an amazing treasure. There's so many movies like that where it's like off-color, deals with race or wherever the case may be in some instances that are just clever, just wonderful films, you know, that I'm sad because I feel like this generation is never going to get the opportunity to fully appreciate them like we did.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's true.
And they're harmless, you know. But
I have a question for no, you're good. I have a question for everybody watching and sitting in there that are on live. Have you ever watched a movie with a bunch of wrestlers and no fucking wrestling happens at all? I have.
We just did.
Yes.
Yep.
Not a single choke slam, not a single
nothing.
And
that movie was called River of Darkness, starring Kurt Angle. Kevin
American
Nash was
hero
in this movie.
Also,
look at this. Look at this. Did you guys just see that? Look at this, Troy. Hang on, do that again, Matt.
What did I do?
No, not you.
What did I do?
No, not you, Matt. He has the Blu-ray. Matt, you could, if you go in the settings, hit the settings wheel, and turn the mirror off on your computer.
We're all mirror.
Yeah, because you're backwards. There you go.
Okay.
That red wall's the shit.
So if I show this again, I gotta go over here now.
There you go. Now you're good. You can show from either side now. The River of Darkness.
So you got the Blu-ray.
Yep.
He does.
Can you tell us anything about the special features that we didn't see?
Zero special features.
Right. Before we get into this review,
I was hoping there was some on here.
Before we get into this review, I know the answer why, but Matt, can you please let the people know why you bought this movie?
Well, I don't know. I was doing a whole research on, wrestling movies because I was watching Ninja Turtles 2 with, and of course, Super Shredder is played by Kevin Nash.
Yes.
So I wanted to look up shit with Kevin Nash, and all of a sudden this movie popped up. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I look up the trailer, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like a Fog remake kind of with some other wrestlers. So I watched the trailer and said, yep, I got to watch this. So, of course, I found it super cheap on Amazon at the time. Bought it, and yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I respect that answer.
Oh, good, because that's my answer.
Just because it's like you did the research, like, okay, I watched this movie with Kevin Nash, and because the Turtles movie, okay, let me see what else is in, and then you love horror, so it's like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you also go check out the Punisher also?
Which Punisher?
The first one.
The first one
with Dolph Lundgren.
No.
That's the first one.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's the second one.
The one with Thomas Jane. I love that movie. I love that one with Thomas Jane. And he's the wrestler.
Great.
He's the Russian.
Kevin Nash is in that movie too. Yeah.
Yep.
Great movie. I love that damn movie.
Fight scene and in close quarters with Thomas Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do a great job of choreographing what happens.
Yeah, they're cooking spaghetti.
Unlike this film,
they're
cooking
spaghetti in the other room too when they're fighting, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
he's making pasta. Yeah. The fat guy's making pasta, and in the background, there's two crashing into each other and fighting. Yeah. And
that little
Thomas Jane had the gun, takes the weight and just crushes the gun. Thomas Jane looks at the gun like, "What the fuck?" I'm in trouble.
See that little bit you guys just said there is better than this movie.
No, the Punisher's a very, very good. I mean, it doesn't get. I don't think it gets the credit it deserves. Punisher's a great
the
popsicle
movie. Scene alone in Thomas Jane's Punisher, I think owns him a level of respect that he doesn't get.
You're talking about the sizzle and the feeling of
the quote-unquote torture scene.
I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
We did the review for Deadpool this week. How cool would it have been to have Thomas Jane present?
That would have been.
I didn't even think about that. That would have been great.
He had a huge following for Punisher. A lot of people were disappointed when they did the switch to Ray Stevenson for Punisher at that time.
Yeah,
or whatever. He was. Yep. He was a great Punisher, man. Shit.
I like the Walking Dead guy. He's the Walking Dead.
I like him, but it's something about that Punisher movie. John Travolta being in it.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great.
It was a good.
John Travolta
movie.
in a Punisher movie? Really?
Yeah, he was the bad guy.
Yeah,
he was
the
Saint.
I might have to check this shit out.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, man.
The ending is so freaking good. I love the twist.
Yes, it is. And
it's
then
pretty clear.
When he was like, when he caught the other little son, he had to make him hold his arm up with the weight and shit. That movie was just badass.
Oh yeah, completely off topic with Thomas Jane. Have you guys seen Hung?
I've heard of it, but
okay, I watched it because it was shot in Michigan. That was my only.
Wasn't it an HBO series or something like that?
Showtime,
okay.
Yeah, so I watched it only because it was shot in Michigan. I mean, that was my only I love Thomas Jane anyway because he's great. Here you have a guy who, I mean, his chops are not necessarily in being a player, right? I mean, that's not his. Low key, if you guys want to see a great series where Thomas Jane shows his chops are beyond being an action guy, check out Hung. It's worth checking out beyond just being this. I mean, the sexual stuff is fun to watch, whatever, but he does a good job, and I earned a new level of respect for him in that role that I did not find in The Punisher. Now, I love The Punisher, but what a different movie, right?
I
enjoyed him in The Mist.
Oh, Mist was a very good movie as well.
Another angle, right?
Completely different.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
God,
I wasn't crazy about The Mist. I wasn't crazy about The Mist. I may have to give that another watch.
I really, really enjoyed that movie. It's kind of, it was a remake. It was a remake, right?
No. This is based on a book.
That's a short story by Stephen King. Yeah.
Okay. So, because it definitely has an anthology type of feel to it. But
Four Past Midnight is the anthology from Stephen King, and
okay.
In the book, it happens exactly like it happens in the movie, where the dad gets impatient.
It's just such a punch in the face when all that shit goes down, dude.
Spoiler.
Damn.
Sorry,
that fucking ending is you lose your soul. You're like, holy fuck.
Just waited 10 fucking seconds and shit.
I never saw the TV series. I don't know if you guys did or not.
TV series, I saw it. It was poorly.
What was it on?
The special effects were awful. I want to say it was sci-fi or some shit, but it was special effects. The special effects were awful. I know there was a big time actor, a big TV actor that was in it, but I can't remember who it was. But it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same at all. But now I got stuck in my mind is why couldn't I have Thomas Jane as Punisher in the fucking Deadpool Wolverine movie? I mean,
I got in Troy's head. I didn't even think about it though. Troy, I was live reviewing it and I didn't think about it for what it's worth. So, and like, how cool would it have been with that era?
Because they explain, because they explain Daredevil being killed.
Yeah.
They explained, I think there's somebody else that died, but yeah, no one said jack shit about the Punisher. I just think that would have been really, really damn clever, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I gotta see that movie. That sounds so interesting.
No, you gotta see it, dude.
Sorry, you never seen The Mist?
No, The Punisher. The Punisher.
Oh, The Punisher. Okay, yeah, check out the Thomas Jane Punisher.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a list of like when I do my first show, first watch party. My first watch party next month. We're watching the fucking Punisher. So I'm gonna write that on my little fucking list. That's the first fucking movie that we're gonna do a watch party for. Troy Hill, whatever the fuck I call my show.
Not the 1988 movie, the Thomas Jane version.
Yeah, not the one with Dolph Lundgren.
No, we're talking about Thomas Jane. Yeah, we're talking the real deal.
All right.
Oh, I gotta see this shit. I'm excited.
No, there's so much. It's like emotion wrapped up into that movie. Because even when the villain knew that he was fucking up, he was like, "Fuck it, I'm sorry and shit. I'm still gonna throw my wife and do what I gotta do and shit." It was crazy, dude. But
I can't wait. I can't
wait. Actually, I was watching this movie. I first watched this movie on a fucking Carnival cruise of an unhappy soon to be my ex-wife and shit. I was having a time of my life watching that movie though. I was like, yeah, at least Punisher's on. Anyway.
What's an odd happy memory? I got a Carnival cruise that went terrible.
That's some shit to unpack right there, Troy.
Yeah, I was with my ex-wife or whatever. They didn't want to be thinking about somebody else any damn ways and shit. So yeah, I was sitting there just watching the Punisher. But yeah, I had a time of my life. Free drinks.
Anything for free drink.
Hey. But there was no wrestling moves in this damn movie and stuff.
At all.
What's his?
That's like a choke that lifts him up in the air.
Yeah. But he should have if he would have just slammed them. I'd even accept a double-handed choke slam to the ground. That's it.
They probably weren't allowed to do any wrestling moves. They're probably getting double.
One jackknife power bomb or an Olympic slam would have been.
You're probably right. Because I feel like in 2011, all these guys were signed, even if it wasn't like WWF or WCW or WWE, they could have been signed to something else, like a lesser known one. And if they weren't attached to that movie, they're like, listen, don't you be in there wrestling and shit getting hurt. Or that's because of your contract. That's going to come at your contract.
The legend contract. But what those moves, though, a jackknife powerbomb, all you do is literally just laying the guy on his fucking shoulders and making it look like you're slamming him halfway to hell.
True.
Really all
but
that shit is.
Something. Listen, you fog rip-off bastards. Do one fucking thing. Those three showed up like they were the doom of the entity of the universe, and they stood there, and that boat floated towards them, and I was like, okay, do one thing. Now she fucking shoots her goddamn whatever the hell, grandpa, like rifle, and then we call it a day, and I'm like, what? Can I get one choke slam? One?
No, you got the big reveal. I'm still trying to figure out how. That was her grandfather, right? That was her grandfather, and she shot him because she raped her grandmother. That is her grandfather. That I'm not sure. I don't understand the dynamic.
Pretty much the story was that
her mother. I thought she said.
No, it was her grandmother.
Yeah.
That wait. You raped. She said, "Was it raped my mother or grandma?" One of the two.
I thought she said her mother.
And that was the guy who said no. It was the boys that did it, and that's what caused this curse supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would. See, if they would have explained that better, it would have made this movie a little better, and a little flashback of that.
Or
like the mother was
any exposition. I mean, like it was pretty poorly written. Like.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we could almost watch this movie and like kind of put like markers on how long Kurt Angle was. Just Kurt Angle, did he really star in this movie?
What did he do? What did he do in this movie?
He was
just show up.
He was a shitty ass sheriff. He needs to be fired. Somebody needs to re-vote and stuff when the vote turns around the next voting season.
You know, he was the connection to bring two of his friends to the movie. That's what he was.
Yeah,
so it was to sell because he was getting big. Let's get a real wrestler in. Let's get Kurt Angle.
Andy Griffith would have figured all this shit out in the first 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
This. Oh my gosh! I was just like, cheesy. Yo, this is wildly ridiculous.
But I'll take this any day over the Fog remake for sure.
Oh,
I'll take this over. I'll take this over Ganja and Hess and if Mick's out there listening, I'll take this over Monkey Man still.
A Monkey Man still?
Oh wow! I still haven't seen Monkey Man, but damn,
me neither.
I know it's an inside joke, but I know what it is.
Joke.
Let's get in our reviews, Sturdy, so that way we got some context, man.
Yeah. So before we even talk about this movie more, because it's a fucking random movie or just a bunch of shit happens, it's not really well explained. I mean, Matt just told us why, like the premise of it. I wish they would have explained that a hell of a lot better and gave you like the story and gave you the visuals as to.
Matt
even if they give you like,
Matt should have been the writer for the movie. Like,
even if they didn't like tell you who put the battery in the person's back to go after the Jacob boys, but you just seen that happen. Yeah, and then it's like, okay, now it all makes sense.
I feel like we needed Matt like in an Alfred Hitchcock role explaining the shit before the movie actually started and shit.
They should hire me. I'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
In a bayou where nobody's quite sure what
happened. Talk with like a redneck accent or something.
Anything other than like, come on, give me something that like ties me in. Like there was just, I'm sorry, the at the beginning with the fucking like the waitress.
Yeah,
that doesn't draw me in. I wasn't sucked into this story. Like, we were sitting there shooting the shit about football.
Yeah, she was she made a whole shitload of joints and shit just to die that damn soon.
Yo, all right.
Why show her rolling the joint? That's the other part. So they show her rolling the joint.
See, I thought she was the actual girl that was in the beginning of the movie when she started first. When the person first started talking, I thought that was her originally. And I was
that would have been better. That would have been better.
She gets killed right in the beginning. Boom.
Yeah, she's rolling up on the toilet of all places. Like she's rolling. I don't know people have done it before, but I'm like, listen, you're grown and you're getting ready to go home. Just freaking roll up when you get home. And then like she goes and smokes by the water. I'm like, I don't think you live there, so why not just
Sturdy? It was about the vibe.
I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this, Sturdy. I haven't smoked since fucking Prince performed at the fucking Super Bowl and shit. And I know better than that shit. Anyways.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Best Super Bowl performance, Loki.
Yeah, the Prince Super Bowl was the last time I ever smoked. It was a great fucking show, though, man. Fuck. Anyways.
The hard part about this movie was just that, like, as interesting as some of the like kills were, like, what is going on? Like,
it felt pointless. It felt pointless because you didn't really know. Again, if Matt just told us now because it wasn't really.
Matt gave me more context than I got from watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And the best scene to me still was that scene was Hicks got up and it had like a reflection was like behind him and the way it was filmed, you knew it was him just because of the science of it. But visually, it still didn't look like it was him by that little background. That was the best fucking scene.
Some of the makeup effects were okay.
I mean, the look on like when you saw Psycho Sid there with his weird makeup, the like, charcoal black, you can see like part of the skin going through. You can see it kind of gritty in his weird contacts. I'm like, what?
It was great for a quick glance.
Let's put it this way: I've seen worse.
I definitely seen a lot worse too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess for what they were trying to do, they did. They
were trying to go for camp
with that. Yeah.
No, I mean, like last week we watched a ninja movie that had been spliced together between 6 different reels.
It was ridiculous.
It was fun though. Still, for what it was pretty damn fun.
It was fun, but this movie was more complete than New York Ninja.
I'm not inviting no women over for Netflix and chill with the movie, but still, it was all right. Hey, watch New York Ninja. Anyway, so
you may have to throw some roller skates on.
They might be really into it. That might be like Troy. That might be like a litmus test where you're like, if they like New York Ninja, they're worth keeping around.
Fuck, I don't know if I want somebody around that likes it that much.
Yeah.
Now the way you just said it, like slower.
It's like only one of us can be entertained by this movie, and it has to be me.
Yeah,
we can't watch.
Then all of a sudden, yeah.
All right, but is there any insight that we can provide
for this? I'll start with our rating.
Our rating. Matt did his best. I don't know.
You said who's best? I've seen all three of these wrestlers act better than that because they had just on the mic in the ring. They weren't the greatest. Kurt Angle was the best of the three, but they were better than what they did in this. Well, I mean, Sid and Nash didn't even have any speaking lines, so.
Yeah.
I think the best actor was Iceberg or whatever the hell his name was.
Glacier? Yeah.
Shocker.
I think that we could all collectively put $10 in a pot and make a better movie than this. I mean, okay, let's put it. We're going to make a movie with the same premise of this. We can make this more thought out and understandable. Because after spending an hour and 40 minutes watching this shit, it shouldn't take Matt coming in here and then also explaining in 30 seconds.
Matt helped a lot.
He explained it. Dude, he explained like 30 seconds. He explained 30 seconds. Now we understand the movie now. We sat in an hour 40 minutes and we did not get shit. He comes in here, 20 seconds, explains it and shit. We all know the fucking movie. And it's still Blu-ray.
He's like basically God as far as like.
Yeah, but he ain't got. There's no special features on the Blu-ray.
I wish there was.
Features.
Hey, Sturd, remember Angle was supposed to be at in Albany there for a signing for at that superheroes place.
Heroes Hideout?
I was going to bring this movie to have him sign it.
Oh,
and talk with him about it. I was going to have a whole time. I wanted to do a whole setup and be like,
I would have loved it.
I would have been like, explain this. And he'd been like, what? If I didn't remember it.
He'll probably be $150,000. That explains it. I mean, how much? How much you think?
Can I see that? Rip it apart and be like, don't have to worry about it anymore.
Oh my god!
But it's for my collection.
How much did Kurt Angle make?
That goddamn movie back. I have that on the shelf.
Yeah.
What do you think he made for this movie?
Kurt
I said
Angle?
100.
Huh?
I said 100.
100 grand.
Probably.
So if he's making 100, Kevin Nash and Psycho Sis probably making what, like about 35, 50?
Yeah, about that. 30.
Yeah, probably less because Kurt Angle was the quote unquote main character. He's the sheriff.
That makes me think for 35, 50. Kevin Nash, he goes to a lot of signings. Well, maybe not as much as he used to. I know he doesn't do it as much because I follow him and I listen to his podcasts and stuff. But still, with $75 a pop for an autograph picture or whatever, multiple people still. I mean, I love the shit out of Kevin Nash.
Oh, dude,
Kevin Nash
they signed the hell out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he has to be making way more at a comic signing still than what he would be making for this movie.
And I probably bet you he's probably never signed this movie. A probably never came up to him and go, hey, this movie called River Darkness you've been in. I bet you nobody's come up to him.
Yeah.
And you would be that guy. And just really quick, so this was the best actor in this movie. This is what happened to him one day. In WCW back in the day. This right here. This was the best guy in the movie. And that's saying a lot. Or no, it's not. It's not.
No, that's not. That's the shot. That is the Shockmaster, but that's Glacier.
Oh, I want to say I love that era of WCW.
Glacier is basically like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that character was.
Remember his character in fucking WCW? Like,
yeah.
What are you doing,
a lot of production in that, too. It had, like, snowflakes and shit falling when he came out the fucking ring and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
Yeah, so when people sit up there and think they watch these documentaries about what kills WCW, not all that other shit, all this other production shit. They didn't even have a snowflakes for Glacier to walk down to the fucking ring. He's a mid-card wrestler at best.
Yeah. I remember him getting speared by Goldberg and fucking jackhammered in like a minute. And like I was like, yeah, that tracks. Like,
yeah.
No, but Goldberg was a phenomenon for that fucking year, though. I just don't think that they, the cattle prod makes sense. That win makes sense to me, you know. Because
I like Goldberg in the horror movie that he was in.
The Christmas one?
Santa
Claus.
Yeah, what was it called? It was
Santa's Sleigh, right? Or
Santa's Sleigh.
Santa's Sleigh. Yeah.
Santa's Sleigh.
I've actually never seen it, but it's pretty good though.
Okay,
it's so bad, it's funny as hell.
It's fun and funny.
Here's
Sometimes
an exercise for anybody that's in this realm.
And I think somebody gets speared in it. I could be wrong, but I believe somebody gets speared in it. So there was some wrestling going on.
Well, they should if it's Goldberg in it. But anyway,
someone should have got powerbombed. There's two guys in this movie that have a variation of a. You know what though? 2011. We gotta remember how old these guys were and their backs.
It doesn't matter. This is the first
Chokeslam.
movie with wrestlers in it. I've never seen a wrestler.
They didn't have enough money in their funds for mattresses.
A clothesline that took somebody's head off would have been fine with me. As a matter of fact, that would have been pretty cool.
What do you guys think? The Venn diagram between porn, horror, and wrestling
on the internet
between the late 90s and early 2000s.
I think porn. I think porn won it from day one till now, and still.
So if you had a Venn diagram, you got 3 circles, right?
Mm-hmm.
One circle is porn, one circle is horror, and one circle is
wrestling.
Oh my god, wrestling.
Then you would have the movie WrestleManiac right in the middle.
And you're talking about a movie,
and that's actually got Rey Mysterio's father in it. As
yeah,
killer.
It does. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Like,
and it's about a bunch of porno people making a porno. It's a horror movie with a horror slasher wrestler, and it's a wrestling movie. There's your Venn diagram, WrestleManiac right in the middle.
Oh my god, yeah. Like,
you probably fucking own it, don't you?
I do. I have it on DVD.
I'm not even gonna give you the finger for this because you came with like some facts and some knowledge.
Yeah, that's impressive.
The whole center shit.
Yep.
No, Matt, you literally came in here and just like set everything like level where everybody can like. Because if it wasn't for you, we'd be still sitting there talking about none of this shit made sense whatsoever. I don't understand.
Oh, it still don't make sense.
What was
that movie called again? WrestleManiacs?
WrestleManiac. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember.
WrestleManiac sounds like fucking
on the shelf at Blockbuster. Yeah, I remember it
like,
on the shelf.
Yeah, it's one of those direct-to-video movies.
Yep.
It sounds like little people wrestling at the bar down the street from me right now. That's what it sounds like.
I gotta watch this movie, man.
We gotta get our ratings.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Yes. I'm ready. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'll wait for you guys. I'm not gonna say shit else.
What's your rating for this?
I'm so out of 10 or 5, Sturd. Which one do we want?
I do. Me personally, I do from -10 to +10.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it 2.5 out of 10. Ooh. That's it. So there is like, listen, there were a couple parts that where I was like, man, I'm like the kills, but if you're gonna tout the roster that is in this movie, you have to deliver. We've already talked about this a little bit. You're gonna tout Kevin Nash. You're gonna tout these guys, Sid, whatever. You got to deliver. I want to see some fucking wrestling action, just because like that's what that I didn't rent this movie from Family Video or Hollywood Video or Blockbuster. I didn't rent this because it was called, was it Darkness River? What was it called?
River of Darkness.
River of Darkness. Like, I didn't rent it because of the title. I rented it because of the names that were at the top, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to sell the movie was probably the names.
Yeah. So when I went to the video store and I rented this, it wasn't anything associated with anything other than Kurt Angle was the first name, right? So give me what I want.
They didn't.
And they didn't, so 2.5. There were a couple kills that were interesting. Beyond that, the plot was fucking dismal. Kurt Angle phoned it in. I have no idea what the fucking like girlfriend or slightly hot girl was doing as far as the rifle and shit. I don't know. We made fun of it while we were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably somebody's girlfriend. What are you doing in the film? Your lines are not delivered in a way that I cared about it.
Not at all. Not at all.
You gotta love how she's mourning over her friends and shit too that died from her bullshit
for no reason.
For her lying. But
yeah.
Troy, what about you? What's your rating for this?
So you're doing a -10, -10, +10. Yep. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 out of 10, and here's the reason why. Still, it's kind of just being a wrestling fan. Growing up as a wrestling fan, it's still kind of just nice just seeing Kurt Angle and Psycho Sid and Kevin Nash, knowing that just knowing that they're still they're still around.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so that's nice. The story didn't really make. I mean, I shouldn't have somebody to come explain a movie to me after I've already done watched it, like in literally seconds to tell me what the movie's about. So, the guy. I mean, shit, Matt, you need to be directing movies and shit or doing something because
he helped a lot. He helped a lot.
Yeah. Or the Alfred Hitchcock role or whatever the fuck, because you made it make way more sense than you're like the Cliff Notes and shit for me for this particular movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, the kills were okay. I did like the scene where it showed Hicks and it had like a weird like reflection or whatever. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. Was it intentional? Who the fuck knows? I don't think this movie needed to be an hour and 40 minutes. I feel like you could have took the whole damn girl and her friends out of that damn shit and knocked it down to like an hour and 20 minutes, and it still would have been the same outcome, basically.
Yeah.
I forgot about the whole beginning. Oh my god. I forgot about that
there was a whole lot of nothing scenes.
Yeah, I'm just really. I mean, and there was like that one scene at the bar. It's like the only time they actually played music that I can recall.
Yeah.
So, which I thought was which I also thought it was weird.
Save money.
I just really think this could have been a good story, but I don't know what the budget looked like. I think the budget was so shitty they couldn't do it. I don't think this was the vision that the creator really intended. Okay. If that makes any sense. I think they were trying to do something else or trying to make something bigger than what it was. But that's all I got. I give it 3. Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to make it this.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was. Don't you guys feel like it was like a little that it wasn't like 100% complete or whatever? I mean, and I also feel like if Kevin Nash is in there, I should get like a jackknife powerbomb on top of a fucking axe or something shit.
That would have been awesome.
I mean, that's what they're there for. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're there for. So I was kind of
what I want
in that. You could have given me an ankle slam, an ankle lock, and he got
nothing. How about you, Matt? What'd you give this one?
Well, I feel bad because I'm the one that actually kind of recommended this one, and I kind of sold it as, hey, look, how would you like to see a movie about 3 wrestlers?
Love it.
Kind of like a fog remake, this and that. You're like, holy shit, this sounds awesome. And all of a sudden we get this, and it's like, well, it's a stupid fun movie. It's one of the ones that you get drunk, you watch it with buddies. Yep. But again, it's a bad movie. The acting is pretty bad. I think the special effects were off with the makeup. There was a lot of plot twists and plot holes that I'm trying to think, because this is my second time watching this movie, and I'm trying to just put things together. It's a lot of things that didn't make sense, and they still don't make sense. I'll probably give this one a 4 out of 10 because I did have fun watching it. It's got a good high body count, which I do like. It's got some good kills, some good blood. Just saying how this one person was pretty much eviscerated from, like how they got a catfish, take the guts out, pull them out, and when they're describing that, it's like, well, that's pretty fucking cool. But the rest was just kind of like, why did they come back? They didn't give you like the history. Like, has it been like a certain amount of time span has occurred? this girl automatically comes to town, which triggers the curse. Like, they don't tell you why this curse happened. It could have been like a 25-year-old curse, or something like happened on the grounds. Like the guy comes back and he steps on the ground, or bleeds on the ground and triggers something. Nothing was actually triggered. They just show up, and it doesn't make sense why they show up. Yeah. Like, give me something. Like, say, like that girl from the university, have her come to town. That's what triggers, because she's not a resident. She is a relative or a blood relative, and now all these people that were involved, all the descendants are there. That's what triggers it. Give me that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, now they come back to life to get all the descendants from all the people who accused them of the rape and murder. And that's what triggers the downfall of this. And again, maybe have Kurt Angle fight a couple of the guys, you know, give us like a couple wrestling matches.
Give me that Olympic slam.
Yeah. Have him do the people's elbow. I don't give a shit. Something.
They didn't give us any type of wrestling to where, like, again, Matt, which you did leave something very important now, because he was like, listen, it's like a Fog remake with Kevin Nash, Psycho Sid, and Kurt Angle in it. And the first thing I'm thinking of is, oh shit, there's gonna be some wrestling in it. There's gonna be some wrestling moves. He didn't tell us there wasn't at all. And I see why he didn't tell us, so we would watch the movie. But I gave this movie a 2, pretty much for the, you know, the kills and stuff like that. The kills were cool. The kills were not, they were okay. They were fun though. And there was some funny parts, and just the nostalgia of the wrestlers being in there and just talking about old wrestling during this movie. So I'll give it a 2 for that.
That's
other than that,
very fair. No, I really do think there was a story there. I just think it just lacked execution all the way across the board. Like I said, I don't think whoever created this movie is not at home happy about this. They probably have like a full story that they wish they could have told that they didn't have the opportunity to tell. Budget or whatever the reason could have been.
Yeah. And it was that budget was definitely a huge reason, I'm sure. And I mean,
I bet you it's just like a cash grab. Let's throw some big wrestler names.
Yeah, I mean,
put out this movie, and hopefully they'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like even at the last scene when she's like, and that's because she raped my ass. She's like smiled at the camera. I'm just like, and
after
because she got away with the murder.
Yeah,
got away with the murder
on a technicality because of.
It's like she smiled like it was like that.
Mercy killing.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that Psycho ending and shit. Like, I couldn't even harm a fly. It's like they were trying to have their moment, but there really was no moment to fucking have.
No, it was just bad. It was horrible. It was horrible acting. All right, have a good one, Shake.
Oh,
hey, listen.
Oh, Shake.
So,
yes, sir.
If you're gonna watch this film, don't watch it expecting anything other than
bad
C level horror. There are a couple great kill scenes, but you aren't going to get the delivery of these wrestlers that you think you're going to get.
You're going to get a wrestling movie with no wrestling moves.
There's my summary.
It lacks execution.
Just have a good night. Time for me to call it.
Have a good one, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Sturdy.
I appreciate you, sir.
Have a good night, fellas.
All right, take care.
Oh, it's not. It's nowhere near interesting. I swear, honestly, just with a couple wrestling moves, that would have made a huge difference for me. I mean, the rating would have went up a lot, maybe 1 point, but maybe 2.
It would have made it more fun, and it would have made a difference.
In a weird way, it would have made it make more sense as to the reason why they're in this fucking movie.
It just seems like they were trying for a story that could have been way more simpler. It seems like they tried to do the shock ending it wasn't executed very well. I just wish that they probably should have took a different direction, focused more on the history of the brothers, maybe a couple flashback sequences showing what clearly happened and stuff back then, and kind of build and expand off of there. And they didn't do that, which again, it just makes me just assume that they had like a $5 budget or whatever. Oh, we are super intrigued. It felt like they just kind of threw shit together and kind of just rushed it. Yeah.
Like, let's just do what we got. Like, listen, the wrestlers, we got them. They signed the contracts. We have the money to get them paid.
Yeah.
How's the story coming? Story's not finished. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
See, that's the thing.
We have an idea for the beginning. We have an idea for the middle. We have an idea for the end. We're gonna cut a lot of that fat out of there. And we're just gonna leave. We're gonna throw in some simpler. We're gonna dumb it down. Let's just throw some simple bullshit in there that makes no sense.
Yeah. The people are watching. This is the difference between when someone tells you they took 2 weeks to film a movie. This is just between the movie being filmed in a week and a half, 2 weeks to a movie being filmed. Principal filming and stuff taking place 3 or 4 months, and all the special effects and shit being added like 6 months after that. This is the difference between the two.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, there's no way in hell this movie was filmed longer than 2 weeks.
I love that you said that.
This might have been a weekend. This might have been filmed like during, a weekend during a convention or some shit,
I love that you said that because now it's making me think like they were just like, you know what? Let's just shoot this movie real quick. Like it was like back in the day in school when you had like a month to do the project, but you always waited till like the last day.
The very last minute.
That's what they did. They waited. They had like 6 months. They were like, you know what? I know we have. They're like, I know we have till June. Or, it's starting in January, having a conversation in January or whatever. Well, I know we have till June, but let's just wait till about July. Or no, so they did it a month later at that.
Yeah. Shit, we're already behind schedule. We got 15 minutes left.
Yep. Let's go. Hurry up. Record everything you guys already got.
Holy fuck! This guy did another movie that's got Kurt Angle in it, Psycho Sid, Tom Savini, Robert Zadar. Holy fuck. This is probably going to be another bad one.
So it's a trilogy of this
Matt
shit.
Morgan. Got a bunch of wrestlers in it, too.
Yeah, Matt Morgan.
It's called Death from Above.
Fuck, Matt Morgan is fucking huge, dude. I mean, he did. I think he was at WWE for like a brief moment, but he was like his mainstay was TNA wrestling. But that guy is like 6'8", 6 foot, like maybe 9 of like full-fledged like fucking muscle and shit. I mean, it's ridiculous, but yeah, it's just crazy. But I mean, there's always been these wrestling movies, though, right? There's always been these straight to video.
Oh yeah,
there's a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's hang on, I gotta pull this up. I have to pull this case up for Death from Above.
Yeah,
I gotta look up a trailer for this one.
Yeah,
it says sure. An ancient druid has returned to claim his prize, to rule the world through the 1,000 year of darkness. But one man standing between him and the ultimate reign. The two battle forces of good versus evil collide.
Anyway,
the same director that did this.
I'm trying to give you the Kurt Angle theme song in the background as you read shit.
Oh my gosh. Fucking.
Yeah, I mean.
Just wow. Like, this movie could have been so much better. And the other movie, like, I kind of want to watch it, but I'm afraid there's not going to be any wrestling in it. Death from Above. So I'm like, I don't trust the director now when he has wrestlers in his movies.
I'll look up this director, see what he did. He did 4 movies. And River of Darkness, Death from Above, Dark Wake, and Endgame. So who knows?
He did Endgame Marvel movie. That was
he stepped up.
Yeah, he stepped up big.
You know how wild that would be?
Like, I think it happens. I think it's like a lot of directors have like a lot of.
I think it does, but I think it's more gradual to like where it's like you go from like a River of Darkness to like the Helen Keller movie because it's more entertaining. To like whatever the next level of that, to maybe 3 levels above that. You know what I mean? But then again, actually, no. Then again, you know what? It could be just like I just need to get something out there. It could because it's like I need to get something out there to get my name out there as I'm working on this bigger story or this better story. So I can't say that.
Well, I mean, to me, it just depends. I mean, I think some directors they start off and they just typically suck no matter what. But like what Joel Schumacher did, Big Trouble in Little China, right?
Oh, here's
I believe he directed that. So look, that's
Endgame.
Where's Thanos?
This is definitely connected to Marvel. That's Thanos.
Shit. Anyways,
no,
but what did Joel Schumacher do before Big Trouble in Little China? Big Trouble in China was not successful at the box office, but it's a cult classic. And there's a bunch of directors like that. There's like a pocket, especially from that time frame, that had movies that weren't successful at the theater, but are considered as cult classics now.
Well, look at John Carpenter did Big Trouble in Little China. He was the director.
It's John Carpenter. So you got John Carpenter, Halloween and
he did The Thing. The Thing was a complete box office bomb, but it's a huge cult classic now.
But what did Joel Schumacher do originally? Didn't he do something that was considered a cult classic that wasn't famous in the 80s also?
Let's Google him.
Was it Lost Boys? What the fuck was it?
How do you spell Schumacher?
I know it's
I know it's
Google will figure the rest of it out. Just type it out how it sounds to you. Oh my gosh, this movie was so bad, man. Like it was, and it wasn't like horrible. It was nowhere near the worst I've ever seen. Not even close. It was because it wasn't even a negative, but it was just there was no wrestling moves in it. That's all we wanted. Yeah. That's literally all we wanted.
Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher did Lost Boys.
Okay, so he did do Lost Boys.
He did Batman and Robin.
Was it a cult classic or was it a box office success? I mean, I love Lost Boys. To me, that's my favorite vampire movie, but I don't recall anybody saying
Batman and Robin. I was about to say Troy. That's ridiculous.
Batman and Robin is watchable. It's just the worst Batman. It's not the worst movie ever.
There's
a difference.
It's not the worst movie ever, but I hate it.
No, I respect that.
And like it was, and you know what it was too. Real quick on that, it was one of those things where same thing with Batman Forever. Hate it, both of them. Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. But anyway, I was so hyped from watching watching 89 and Returns. Love those. Those are still my favorites of all time. And then watching those two after, I was like, it bothered.
I liked Val Kilmer as Batman, oddly, because it's perspective, because like Michael Keaton, for example, back at that time, you tell me Michael Keaton, I'm thinking about Mr. Mom, another great actor from that time. Tom Hanks, everybody loves Tom Hanks, but I sit there and think of Bosom Buddies and shit, the TV show. So you see what I'm saying? It's really perspective.
It is, but I'm not even trying to be funny this time. For me and you, it's also an age difference. So for me, my introduction to Michael Keaton was Batman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then either Batman or Beetlejuice. But Beetlejuice, you don't really know. You know what I mean? I didn't know he was Beetlejuice, honestly, till like later on in life.
Yeah.
I know he was Batman before I knew he was Beetlejuice, like at a younger, you know what I mean? At a younger age. Probably more at like a kid's age. Because it's Batman. Like every kid, that's Batman.
Yeah, I'm like 10 years. I'm like 10 years before that, so I'm like looking at all the comedy movies that should have Michael Keaton.
Yeah, because like watching like documentaries now, or just watching things about Batman now and interviews and all that, and how they would bring that up. And I'm like, oh, I never knew that. And then when you watch some of the stuff in his other movies, you're just like, oh, he is kind of he was. I mean, there were some funny moments in Batman. I'm sure I can't think of it off the top, but. Like, oh, he is kind of pretty funny in some of these other
but you got to realize, though, Michael Keaton wasn't the first choice to be Batman. Bill Murray was, so figure that shit out. So
thank God we got Michael Keaton.
Could you imagine Bill Murray being the first Batman?
If Bill Murray was the first Batman, that's where Batman was stopped for live action for a long time. We're like, all right, we got to correct this. Yo, let's make Superman. Let's get Superman.
And still, as great as Batman was, because I like the original Batman, obviously, and I like the second one with Michelle Pfeiffer, but still, it's something about the first Superman the movie, and even Superman 2 that has like this nostalgia factor that just like it's just something about it. Because I mean, especially Superman 2, I mean that story has been like duplicated. All Superman 2 is Spider-Man 2, they're the same fucking movie. If you think about it. You know, they give them their fucking powers and shit. You know, it's the same fucking shit.
So Superman 1, Superman 1 came out in 78.
Yes.
How old were you then? And again, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, I was 4.
4, okay.
I was 4 or 5 years old, but that was like one of my first movie theater experiences.
Okay, so that's a huge thing right there too. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if that plays a huge factor. Actually, it's probably why you go to Superman more, or at least with these two movies more. And for me, it's definitely Batman hands down. But I would say
Christopher Reeve, man. Christopher Reeve was just.
I admit he was. Yeah,
Christopher Reeve is Superman, dude. I mean, what's the name of the most recent Cavill? I mean, he's a great Superman too, great master, but he's not Christopher Reeves.
No,
I mean, he just isn't. Christopher Reeves just embodied. If you describe Superman, if you read a comic book and read the introduction of like an old school Superman comic book, it's fucking Christopher Reeves. I mean, you don't get that with the other guys.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, you just don't. You know, and this guy, I mean, he's the guy's 6'4", 6'5". He's not ripped up to hell tall, but he's built. You know, he's definitely put some work. I mean, to me, he'll always be my Superman, dude. I mean,
that's fair.
He will, because I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, you know, granted, you know, Superman 2, they raised the stakes, you know, with General Zod, because General Zod to me is just an incredible villain. Mm-hmm. I got a T-shirt I got a T-shirt somewhere I need to fucking find, but it has just General Zod. It has him pointing his finger down. It says "deal," and it's so damn badass. Nice. But it's just something about those movies, because you're a kid at that time where you can't separate with the movie and reality. You know what I mean?
And I think that's what it is. So you're saying, so you were 4 in 78 when that came out. I was 4 in 89. I don't know when I seen Batman for the first time, but I was 4 in 89 when Batman came out. So I seen it at a young age to where by the time you seen Batman, you were older to where you understood reality from the movies. And I'm at that young age of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm watching Rocky and shit, watching Rocky 3 thinking that Clubber Lang might win this time and shit. I don't fucking know. you know, this is fucking stupid, but
no, it's honestly, I kind of miss like that innocence that children have that you had as a child going into things like that, to where it's like you almost feel like it feels real to you. And that even goes with horror. And I guess to the extent of with horror, it's more so like the scare you would get and the nerve. Again, I just want that during the movie from start to finish. I don't need that after or before, especially after, because that's just ridiculous. Me grown as hell, sleeping with all these damn lights, sleeping in my studio lights. I bring them downstairs. I'm scared.
Yeah, it's like a scene like I don't know if Matt remembers Superman 2. When Superman gets his powers back, he's fighting against General Zod. And also, there's like a black couple. They're walking out of the KFC and shit, and they're having a battle, blowing wind at each other and shit. You know, and the guy's like eating this KFC and shit. They're like walking out, the guy's like blown away. I'm sitting there thinking it's like a kid back. I'm like, God, I wish I could be a kid.
But also with Superman 2,
get blown away. You know?
What the fuck were they thinking with some of those the weapons that Superman had? When he takes the giant S off his chest and throws it at that one girl and wraps her in a giant red S. Like, what the hell is this? This never happened in any of the comics that I remember.
No, but you know what was badass? When he was acting like he didn't have no power, and he like bent down and surrendered to Zod, and all of a sudden he squeezed his fucking hand. He's like, he picks him up, just throws his ass. I'm like, this is the shit. I still get hyped up watching that shit now, because it's just something that's so heavily embedded in my childhood. And I know it might sound ridiculous to some.
No, it's beautiful, man. Because
you know, it's like that TV show on Netflix is like the toys that made us. Well, it's like the movies that made us. And there's like about 10 key movies. And I think everybody in our little group I want to see what everybody's 10 movies are that actually made them as a person, because everybody has at least 10 that made them who they are today.
That's a good one right there. That's a good conversation right there.
Because
that's a really good conversation.
You know, I mean, whether it's comedy, horror, I mean, there's some movies. I mean,
honestly, for me, it's like a mix of things because there's like a lot of memories of certain movies. Like I can tell you with Friday the 13th, just watching that on the USA Network, wherever I was at, I was glued to that TV. If I was at my dad's house, aunt, uncle, whoever, and then I remember buying the DVDs first came out. It was in the black case. There was the 8 DVDs in the black case, and they were doubled. I remember going to FYE with me and my brother. I think we took the bus there. My mother picked us up. I don't remember what happened. I remember I was paying with $100 bill, and of course they looked in the light, see if it was fake. I was like, "This some bullshit." And I probably said some other wild ass shit. I probably said some. I'm sure I said some more unfavorable things at the time then, but I was young, and I was right.
We all got our memories, though. I mean, I remember sitting in front of my grandfather. He's sitting there, like, with chair, feet kicked up, and we're watching the Twilight Zone together and stuff. And after every episode was over, he would always ask me what I thought about the episode and what I thought it meant. And that was like the only place I felt like I had a forum where I could talk and I was not going to be judged or made fun of what I thought.
I love
my grandfather helped me a lot more than, I mean, he's been passed away for several years, obviously, but he helped me out a lot for me to be able to talk and just say what I thought about things and not feel guilty. I mean, my opinions are not hurting anybody. I'm not threatening anyone.
No, you're talking movie.
You know, and my grandfather helped me understand that, you know, whether it was movies or social things or sports or whatever. My grandfather had me convinced he was a Redskin fan for years, just so I could debate why I like the Cowboys.
That's awesome,
crazy. But that's the type of
But I mean, I guess it was his way of just teaching you how to debate and just how to stick up for yourself in some ways and stand up for yourself. You know what I mean? And just give you some confidence. And it's just like, listen,
absolutely.
Deep down, I love the Cowboys, but for my grandson, I love the Redskins. I'm gonna talk shit to him every Sunday.
well, I can tell you, my grandfather was buried with a lot of cowboy shit and stuff. So I'm winning in that regard.
Now you know what I mean,
because I put cowboy bandanas and I put like one of my cowboy T-shirts in his coffin before they closed. And I did a lot of stuff. Because my grandma was like, he's always been a cowboy fan all this time. Troy. I'm like, what are you talking about? He just wanted you to speak up for yourself. I'm like, oh.
So you know what would have been funny? Be like, all right, I got something for that. Let me put this Redskins fit. Let me put this in there with it. Well, play jokes. Here's an eternal joke.
That's what they're gonna do with Aaron. They're gonna put like Nicolas Cage shit in his coffin. Here you go. I know I'm your favorite actor. Here you go.
If anybody comes back, does that? I'm coming back for all of it. I'm coming back for all of you guys. I'm gonna just do some inconvenient shit like take your left shoe, every single left shoe in your house.
But can you honestly? There's nothing you like that Nicolas Cage has ever done.
I did like Face Off. I did like Gone in 60 Seconds, and I did really enjoy Wind Talkers. I didn't even know he was in the movie.
See, I love Con Air, Face Off.
I love The Rock that he did.
Rock's a good
was he in The Rock?
movie. It really,
he was.
The Rock's
but
really good movie.
I've never liked him though. Like he just pisses me off when I see him on screen, and it's not like
you never liked National Treasure, the first one.
I've never watched it, and as long as I'm not reviewing it on reviewing it on Popcorn and Pints, as long as I'm not reviewing it on Popcorn and Pints, I won't watch it.
See,
I won't watch anything Nicolas Cage unless I have to review it. Huh?
I've heard good things about it actually.
Which one?
Reinfeld, when he's playing the vampire, is that good?
Yeah, Renfield's really good.
It was decent. Okay. I didn't hate it. It was decent, but it was still just like, eh. But I'm also not big on vampire movies at all.
But you would like Willy's Wonderland. He doesn't say a word in the whole entire movie.
I didn't like that.
Say one word.
He yells.
Really? I did a review.
He's doing some weird dancing. You see his face a lot. You see his face through the whole fucking movie.
The funny thing is about that movie is that because I'm a fan of Nicolas Cage. I watched that movie just hoping he would say something by the end of the damn movie. You know, I really was like, I'm like, he has to say something eventually, right? You know.
I was hoping too, like at the end when he's sharing a drink, sip up or something like have a drink or
anything. I'm glad you did
that place.
Well, talk about two different genres or the same genre. I thought it was better than Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I thought it was better than that.
Was such a disappointment because you were expecting so much more, and I guess the second one's supposedly going to be better.
It was in developmentary hell for years. That's the reason why the first one was probably terrible.
And I never played the games, and I guess it's mostly geared for fans of the game and the younger generation.
Yeah.
So I remember I was watching something on Facebook, and people were ripping this guy apart because he said the same thing. Willy's Wonderland was so much better than Five Nights, and everyone was flipping out. I'm like, you probably grew up playing the game. We never did. So therefore, we want to see if it's a horror film, we want to see these animatronics come to life
and do
rip people apart, kill people, which we don't really get as much. And it's kind of like a PG-13, almost like a Goosebumps episode versus a real animatronic kill.
Supposedly they're going to step it up with parts. Supposedly it's going to get more violent. And
did anybody see the banana splits?
Yeah.
How was that?
Real good. I like that one a lot. Yeah.
I can't remember.
So how did they explain the transition? Because obviously I'm 50, so I'm familiar with the banana splits cartoon shit. How did they explain the transition, and how did they transition that into horror? I guess would be my question.
What it was, there was a contest for anybody who's like a big banana splits fan and everything. So they get a bunch of people who win the contest, and they're all coming to the area to go around the tour of the place. Well, it was pretty much, I don't want to spoil it too much because...
Oh, so it's one of those deals where it's like a twist?
Yeah, there's a twist because someone takes the mechanics of everything and makes the robots go berserk for a specific reason. So these robots now are killing people left and right through the whole entire sets and everything. It was great. There was this awesome kill with a giant mallet. There was one with acid pies and type deal. Another person gets sawed in half. They actually are showing the blood and guts.
You're actually seeing some stuff in this. There's no.
This is not toned down at all.
Did they play the song?
Oh yeah. La 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 la, and they had the whole thing going. It was great. I'm like, I'm loving this.
It was fun. It was fun.
Okay, so that being said, with a project like this where we grew up knowing this is kind of like a kids thing, is there any other property or IP you would like to see to take that route also? That's kind of that will be obscure from the norm.
If they do it the right way, I'm not mind if they take damn near any property. If they do it if they do it justice and actually make a good horror story out of it, I don't want to see any.
Because this is just the beginning of the Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse shit, right?
I know that.
With all this shit.
I hope the Bambi one's real.
Me too. I know that, but what I'm getting at though is if they can do it to where they can justify the stories, because we grew up, a lot of those kids stories, they were good stories, they were entertaining stories for us, and even as adults, you still enjoy those stories. So it's you have to do that with the horror story. You have to make it entertaining.
But do you buy the story of Winnie the Pooh or just let these fuckers stop feeding these fuckers and they just turned into whatever the hell they turned into? You buy
honestly, from watching part 1 and watching part 2 was such a better movie. I really did enjoy part 2. And I heard they upped the ante a little bit in part 2. They upped the ante a lot because there was the story they were trying to tell in part 1, they told it in part 2.
Okay, so it's more a budget increase for part 2.
Yeah,
they said they got a bigger budget.
Big budget increase. The visuals looked way better. They didn't look like just masks anymore. They looked like the actual creature was the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was much freaking better, and I can't wait to see what this team does down the road and others that they're connected with.
I got a hypothetical for you. What if Gilligan's Island was a thing, and they go off to this island when all of a sudden, but on this island there's also cannibalism and all this other type of shit going on. Would you be interested in shit like that?
Hell yeah,
I'd check it out.
I would definitely do it
at least once.
Yeah, I think that
the Fantasy Island horror movie that they did, it was okay. I thought they took
the premise worked
years ago, right?
That was several years ago.
I mean, if you do it right, if they would have did it correctly the first time, which it wasn't bad, but you could build that for a multi-billion-dollar franchise if you do the first couple the right way. That could be a Final Destination type of franchise if you do it right.
Yeah.
I'm all for turning kids stuff into horror films. It gives it a little more of an edge too. It's not the same old thing that's happening.
Yeah.
That we grew up watching and we're going, oh look, here's a killer Dumbo movie now, where suddenly we have a mutant elephant running rampant that can fly and crash on people. Fuck yeah, I'll watch that in a heartbeat.
But does that mess it up for? Okay, so I think this will be the next question, because we've spent, this is like a new thing. There's still generations upon generations with these beloved characters and stuff, where kids still have connection. I mean, there's theme parks that's connected to these characters. I mean, you think that it's like one, is there going to be a blowback, or two, how does that change things for the main IP? Like, how does this change things for Disney? It's like, oh fuck, we got the small ride here, and all of a sudden there's a small movie.
Keep an eye on your rights then, because if you're this main huge money corporation, you have the right to have this character. Once you give up your right, it's free reign. You could do whatever the fuck you want, because now you got rid of your character. So
at the same time,
rights are done.
At the same time, I will say, for those that are taking on the challenge of doing these movies, just take it serious, bust your ass, and do your best at it, because again, these IPs, these characters, and these stories that you're using and twisting in any other way, but I'm just saying just IPs that you're using, they're coming from some phenomenal stories. So it's like
that's also as a parent, you should be like, okay, you want to watch a Winnie the Pooh movie, but you're 5. I'm going to make you watch the cartoon one, not the horror film, because come on, put a little common sense into it. Like, this is what I grew up with. We'll watch this together. Maybe when you get older, we'll see.
Is there IPs that are untouchable?
I don't know.
I mean, okay. Is there, like, if Mr. Rogers goes on a murder spree, there's murders going on Sesame Street.
Well, right now it's all licensed.
They're killing everybody. But
once those licenses are gone, I bet you people will pick them up and turn them. Like, look at the Grinch. The Grinch was all based on a kid's cartoon and everything. Once the rights got done, they came up with the mean one, but they never said the Grinch in the movie at all. So they got around that. They just called it the mean one, and that's what they mentioned the whole entire movie. For all we know, this is definitely a Grinch film, but it's the mean one. And that's how it plays out.
No, I see. Like I said, I understand, and I get, like, if you're not being responsible and you let the rights of, like, certain properties go, not reclaimed, that is a responsibility on you. You should. I mean, that is shame on you. But I mean, I can deal with a Winnie the Pooh or a Mickey Mouse. I don't know if I could deal with, like, a Mr. Rogers and things like Sesame Street. Those are like unifiers amongst people. You know what I mean? It's like a little bit different, in my opinion.
But I feel like with people, let's say people around that grew up on these, we're all adults now, and that are horror fans, that's still gonna, like, connect us. Whether you love them or you hate them, you're either gonna connect them, yo, these movies were fun, or yo, these movies sucked. But it's still gonna connect. It's still gonna bring people together for that, I feel. Obviously not as many as, like, the whole Disney.
They're not going to be made for other people, like, or the big main area.
No, they're being made specifically for horror fans. And then depending on the level of those movies, like, you could say for the first Winnie the Pooh movie, that's the specific horror fan right there. And part 2 is definitely another, you know what I mean? Because there's some people that watch part 2 that would never even think about watching part 1. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that's going to watch from part 1 to part 97 and probably complain about from part 3 to part 97.
But also, too, if you look back in the 80s, they did the reverse. They took R-rated movies and turned them into kid shows. True. If you talk about, like, the movie Rambo, look how gory and nasty Rambo was. They made it into a kid's cartoon in the 80s.
Yeah. That's a great point.
RoboCop was another one. RoboCop was gory as fuck, and they turned that into a kid's cartoon.
I mean,
Pee Wee Herman was way more adult too before it ended up becoming Pee Wee's Playhouse, like that HBO television special that they used to have back then. Pee Wee Herman, way more adult related. So I guess I can get that.
And I mean, honestly, I don't know the story, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But I guess a lot of the Disney stories, or some of the princesses and some of the characters that they use, come from darker stories. So,
well, this might be true.
So it's
but then again, you're talking. I'm not the quasi Disney fan. I'm a Hanna-Barbera guy, so which doesn't exist anymore. But I don't know. I'm just curious because I just wonder yes, we're moving into this new world of where, you know, there's IPs that you can buy some IPs, or you can claim on some IPs. I'm just wondering what you classify as touchable
and untouchable.
and
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know because I don't know if
that's another interesting conversation.
I don't know if anything's untouchable, but then again, I don't know how people then again, you know, I don't know how franchises money is, and I don't know how much people will let go that own these properties. They're just like, okay, you could do that, all right, now you're making too much money, not time to slap that.
Did you guys ever see the movie Escape from Tomorrow?
No.
It was filmed in Disney World without their permission. It's a horror film about like a family that goes to Disneyland, Disney World, or wherever it was, and like the guy starts losing reality, goes crazy and everything. It was filmed without their permission, and they did it anyway. They snuck in around Disney World and filmed it. The cover art is Mickey Mouse's hand up in the air, like with blood dripping. I remember seeing that at Best Buy. I'm like, I don't care. I'm buying this just because it's got that weird cover art.
Yeah,
it's shot in black and white. It's pretty weird film.
How many days is this one day they filmed, or how many days did they try and film?
I got to look up how long, but it was filmed without permission in where is it? In Disney World without Disney's permission. So what else is more on here? But it was weird. They got busted, and they still put it out and they got in trouble for it too.
Mm. Well, I bet they definitely did.
See, that'd be fast because, you know, I mean, just any theme park. It's just like, I would love to see a movie filmed in months. Months, really?
No, months, several months.
Several months, okay. So I would like to see as far as in terms of Disney, all the clothes shit, you know, it's kind of like just like swept up underneath the rug. You know what I mean? Like those areas are like blocked off for a reason and kind of like move on to something else. I would love something to be filmed like in those little parts of Disney. You know,
one of the Disney movies as a kid, it's called Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Okay.
It's filmed way back, like in the 60s, I think. It's got like Angela Fletcher, and there's a whole bunch. It's like a whole kids thing. There's scenes where they're actually using real demon names in this movie. They actually have like a 5-star, and they have to say these names, and they're all demonic names used in the movie. It's fucking weird. Like they were doing this research. Crazy. But it's a kids movie. I remember seeing this as a kid. I loved the movie, and my wife loves it too. And I had to buy it because we both grew up watching it. And it's so weird how they did this movie.
Did you watch a lot of the other live action animation movies from Disney back then? Like, because you know how they used to have like a Saturdays. They used to have like the
Sunday night was Disney.
On ABC. So I mean, because I have always been fascinated with like the Pete and the Dragons and the Sugar Dumpling Gangs and just anything Don Knotts related.
Escape from Witch Mountain.
Yes.
I even found my buddy hooked me up. He gave me Mr. Boogedy and the Bride of Boogedy. Remember that TV show movie?
Yes.
On Disney Network.
All right, you guys are fucking old because I don't remember any of that shit.
You weren't born yet. You were still swimming in your dad's nutsack at the time.
I definitely was.
But yeah, I remember Sunday night was Disney night. Like you would sit down, you watch a Disney movie, and it was always like a kid's, like a adult but still family related film.
I want to see this fucking movie.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy, or did Time After Time, was that also? I mean, Time After Time is like one of my favorite time travel movies. I could have swore that this movie was shown on that Sunday special one damn time.
Probably was.
Because I don't think everything they showed there was a Disney movie, but that Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell and can't remember what her name was, but that's a badass time travel movie, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna say it's better than Back to the Future, but fuck, that shit is close, very damn close. Yes, you haven't seen Time After Time. I'm adding that to the damn list.
Add it to the list.
Oh man.
Time After Time is a fucking badass time travel movie, and I will go on record saying if there wasn't no Back to the Future, people would be saying that this is the best time travel movie ever.
Oh shit!
That's what I say.
The reason why I'm chuckling over here to myself is because the way he was just like he was disappointed in his nephew. Like, I gotta write this shit down now. This motherfucker don't watch nothing. Like, I gotta write it down on the list.
Do you remember the movie The Explorers with the River Phoenix? They make this little spaceship out of an amusement park ride, and they're flying in the air, and they end up in this weird spaceship, and it's like these two aliens, and they're partying with them, and they're actually kids too.
Yes.
I thought that was a Disney film too, but it wasn't. I was like, wow.
There's a pocket of movies there. I thought Time Bandits was a fucking Disney movie and shit.
Oh, Time Bandits! Oh my god, that movie's great.
Don't watch it now. You're gonna fuck up part of your childhood watching that shit now.
Oh.
I swear to. I watched it probably about 10 years ago, and I was mad as hell. I'm like,
this movie sucks.
I've ruined my damn childhood.
Oh man, that's the worst. When you have like this memory of a movie or a game, and you go to play it, and it's like,
no, it's like these little. It's like these little people traveling all over through time and shit. I remember like one scene is like this like big guy's like he had like these big hands. He's like trying to help the little people go through like this. He's like, I got these big hands, and he died obviously, but still memorable. Just don't watch that shit when you're in your 30s or 40s. You're gonna be pissed off about. You're gonna question a lot of things about your judgment when you were a kid. That you didn't know didn't know shit.
And you saying that, Troy, you know what would be really freaking cool is if there was a way to where you can watch movies with like watching movies with yourself somehow, right? Insert like the first time you see this movie, that's the like as your age now, you're watching that with the first time you've seen whatever movie it was with that self, and then having a discussion with yourself about that. That would be some wild, crazy like some movies you'd be like, yo. It'd be like, yo, how the hell do you like this at 6? Or, yo, at 50, I still love this movie.
I always have daydreams about going back as like me now and going to kid me, telling my kid me that Bill Cosby's going around raping people and shit. So, I get it. I get it. So, hey, guess what? Guess what, little Troy? Bill Cosby's slipping shit in people's drinks and shit and giving it a tippity-tap-tippity.
Oh gosh,
he's making Jello shots on their own bellies. There's no more room for Jello.
No more room for Jello.
Yeah, but and then before I leave, and Hulk Hogan drops the N-bomb, and I disappear.
Yep.
Anyway. So.
And your younger self was like, I thought we were gonna watch a movie together.
No. I have more things to do in your life.
Next time. Because there's certain movies where it's like, just think of it if that you've watched in your adulthood that people start like watch it as a kid and they're just like, I enjoyed this in my childhood. And you try to watch it now, you're just like, what the fuck? But just imagine being able to bring some of those movies back to yourself as a kid to see it. Just to see how that.
This question: did you love E.T. the first time you loved it or saw it?
I did.
When I met Dee Wallace, I told her like when I first saw E.T., I was probably 4 or something. I said it scared me as a kid, and she's looking at me like, "How the hell did E.T. scare you?" Because it's a kid's movie. I go, when he made that weird growl noise.
I get it.
Yeah, I told her it freaked me out, but I loved the movie. And she gave me a big hug and everything.
See, I'm a little bit older. I told somebody, it was today I told somebody, it's like, I said a guy at work, I'm like, it's like, I feel like I've been in a relationship with Drew Barrymore like most of my damn life and shit. It's like we're literally probably about the same age, but it's like, I've been with her when she was in that movie, Firestarter, all the way to Wedding Singer.
Cat's
it's like, Cat's Eye. It's like, it's like you grow with some of these people,
Yeah, and these films, and it is such a cool thing, like especially just going back and talking about those films we grew up on, and just whether you love them or you hate them, it's such a fun, great conversation. And just like, holy shit, like we've seen all these damn movies.
Yeah,
and still want to watch more, but we'll still go back to these damn movies.
The greatest thing and biggest regret is telling the machine at the ET ride my name was Adnan Akbar and not Troy Hill, because They thanked Adnan Akbar when I got off the ride. So to myself, I was kind of pissed after I thought about it. And you know, in retrospect, I wish I could have had him said my name.
There you go. There you go. Oh,
So,
man. Overall, though, guys, this was definitely a fun episode. This was a fun time. The movie, not so
totally
much.
Agree.
Not so much, but
it's a camaraderie and conversation that makes everything great.
I will say this next week, because I did say this, I believe, 2 weeks ago. I have to see this movie. Everybody's been telling me I need to see it. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Love that movie.
Wait, whoa. This is what you're doing next week?
Yes.
Shit, that's all you needed to say.
Wait, Troy, what you got planned next week? Well, now nothing.
Nothing. I'm watching From Dusk Till Dawn next Friday. That's what I'm doing.
My plans just opened up because I'm watching Dusk Till Dawn again.
Yep.
That movie is badass, dude.
And I've never seen it. I cannot wait to see it. I'm excited to see it. I was like, instead of having it waiting for it to come up on the wheel because it's gonna take too damn long, let me throw this one out there. And
man,
you know,
you got me wanting to do a Ric Flair woo right now and shit. But I'll hold
you
it
can do it. That'd be the most wrestling. That'd be the most wrestling thing we've got.
Just woo. Shit, this man. I'm gonna tell you right now. This movie is a roller coaster ride for fucking sure, dude. It's like 2 movies in one, and it's just fucking incredible and shit, man.
I can't.
It's one of those movies a lot of people hated, but give it over time, people have been loving it. It's
weird. It's very, very cool, very, very good. Some of the cinematography is really, really good.
The music,
it's like one specific. Yes, it's one specific scene where Fred Williamson's talking about I guess a stint in Vietnam. He's kind of in the background, sitting there doing this. Is real, real cool and funky looking. It's a badass movie, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're all grown up, Sturdy. You're all grown up.
See, now he's the proud uncle because he throws in that little look at my nephew all growing up.
Yeah, look at you're up the kid down.
See, now he just degraded me again. Yo, Matt, if I can give you any advice, don't get any black uncles or black cousins. They do shit like that.
We're assholes. We're always assholes. We're gonna tell you that.
All in the matter of a second. All in the matter of a sentence.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be like, I'm proud of you, but still, you a piece of shit, motherfucker.
Is that my nephew? Is that my nephew? And yo, you just look over, you're like, what the hell is I'm drinking today? Yeah, he got that liquor in him. Like, oh shit, he's gonna be talking all that shit today even more. And he's gonna fall asleep on the couch with the holding the beer bottle on his big ass stomach.
Hey,
somehow doesn't spill a thing. Knocks everything else over. Doesn't spill his beer ever. This dude could be dead and still not spill his beer.
Because it's alcohol abuse, man. We ain't gonna abuse this, man. It's shit. Things are tight, dude. But I'm just glad that you watching From Just a Man.
Your uncle be like, yo, boy, last time I smoked some alcohol was 1970. It'd be 1979. I just got my Cadillac.
I'm just saying, dude, you're in for a treat.
I can't wait.
Because
Salma Hayek's in it, and that's that.
Yes.
God.
She's
boner alert.
She's so damn beautiful, and even Clark W. Griswold's daughter, in one of the movies, she's oddly attractive as well. I forgot what her name is.
I love the
she was one of the. But she was Clark W. Griswold's daughter at one point. I just can't remember what her name is. That's the only way I can associate.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, she was a Natural Born Killers too, right?
Natural Born Killers.
Was she Natural Born Killers also?
Was it Dreyfus or? God,
no, it's not Dreyfus. Yeah, but she got one of those 3 combo type names, I think, and shit.
No, I gotta look it up because I can't. I see her face and everything, and
just can't.
Because she was in From Dusk Till Dawn. She was in Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
I think she was in Natural Born Killers.
Juliette Lewis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's a Juliette Lewis.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
I can't
wait. Solid, dude.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been waiting to watch this movie. Don't ask me why I didn't watch it. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't watch it because I didn't review it yet.
Well, honestly, that's weird. Why haven't you watched it? Because that just seems like that would have been a go-to a long time ago. But I get it.
It was one of those ones too, and it's like it's one of those things too where it's not introduced to you, so you'll never think. You know what I mean? I never thought to search for it if it was never introduced for years, and then it's just like when it is or when it hits my radar, it's just like, oh, I got to see that movie one of these days.
Now, I saw it in the theater back in like '97, I think, when it came out.
Now, I mean, next week the day will come to go see this movie or to watch and review this movie.
And that's Robert Rodriguez, right? I mean, I would suggest that. Death Proof.
I've seen that.
Planet Terror.
Yeah, Planet Terror is a pretty. I mean, I remember.
I didn't see Planet Terror.
I don't know. Okay. Well, I mean, I went to see it at the theater, so they played both of them. So it was like
the double feature with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, nice. But Planet Terror was a good movie too. But I mean, it has. Well, you could tell the influence. It definitely has. Well, Quentin Tarantino's in the movie, but it definitely has that Quentin Tarantino type of vibe throughout it all. I mean, if you didn't know. You would guess that From Dusk Till Dawn is a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it isn't. I mean, what do you think about that, Matt? You think if you didn't know, you think that would be you could have, some people might assume that it would be?
Yeah, definitely. It fits right into his. It fits right in his repertoire, pretty much. Like all the music that he does, he's in it as well. But he's done a lot with Robert Rodriguez, like with Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Desperado, like those will all fit as a Quentin Tarantino style too.
Yeah, Desperado, another very good fucking movie. Jesus, with the fucking knife thrower,
Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Well, she's also in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Absolutely.
Danny Trejo is the man, so I'm good. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, but you guys, have you seen Desperado? You gotta see him hop up on through a sunroof and shit, start fucking chucking knives at a damn person and shit, assassinating their ass and shit. That's what you gotta see. So that if you haven't seen Desperado, that's worth seeing it just for that.
Just put it on the list. Just do the sign and put it on the list. Just get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off, Troy. You don't got to build me up.
Because I can't remember if it was like a limousine or whatever, but it had a sunroof. He hopped up and ripped that sunroof off. He had like this vest that had like all these knives in it. He's like.
And his knives have crosses at the end. They were crosses with the blades at the bottom, so it's easier just flicking them.
Yep, it was badass, dude.
Yes.
You're like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Don't worry, Sturdy. We might have to infiltrate your show for a couple of weeks to get you right.
With From Dusk Till Dawn, got so many.
Listen, I'm willing to like go through a couple of these movies and some because I want to see them. What'd you say, Matt?
I say From Dusk Till Dawn's got so many big named actors and actresses in it. It's insane. Like I said, you got Tom Savini. He plays a character called Sex Machine in it with a very special belt.
You got Harvey
Cartel. I'm not Harvey Cartel. Was it Cheech Marin who plays a couple of characters? And it just all plays off. Like even George Clooney, you would think, oh my God, George Clooney's in this, but he is a fucking badass. In this movie, like and it worked perfect for him. Cool. I was like, wow, this is great. Cool.
Yep.
So
this is a real good vibe. It's a real good vibe with that. And like I said, and like you said too, the music and everything, just real. It's just perfect, damn near. And then even just at the ending when they show like the.
Well, don't spoil it for him.
No.
Don't say anything for him because he still hasn't seen it. He's still a virgin to this movie.
Yeah, that's
Sturdy. Put your earmuffs on.
I'm not doing that either. I got one more week. One more week.
Yeah. But anyways, I better get going here. I got someone that's like blowing up my phone here on the other end. I'm like sitting there seeing these texts. I know who it is.
I know what that means.
What? I mean, no.
Don't. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I've been a recluse and a hermit for quite some time, so maybe I want to come out of retirement.
Listen, Grandpa got to get his too. Got to go. That nurse I heard is jamming now.
Grandpa. Yeah, but remember, I'm the 50-year-old who doesn't look 50. Remember that.
How do your back and knees feel?
It's all quiet on that one. It's like, wait a minute, how do I say this without saying old?
That's how they feel.
See? That's when old people that look when older people that look young, like, yeah, but how does your back feel? You know what?
But you know what? I still got enough in the tank for that special fire that might be happening in the building where I might have to run and kick some damn ass like an action sequence.
Yeah, because they make pills for that. So you go and do what you got.
There ain't no pills for running fast. Like, oh shit, let me go ahead and take my pills. Oh fuck, I dropped them. Fuck, I'm dead.
I wasn't talking about running.
I got zombies chasing me. Quick, let me take my pill.
I don't need those strong like Bill still, dude.
But no, I did drop the show links, people. So make sure you go check out the shows. Yeah,
I'm gonna
horror for Sturdy. Go ahead.
Hey, you ever see Ron Burgundy Part 2 where Greg Kinnear's like on the top of his mind like this sitting there?
I didn't. Oh, you froze.
Uh-oh.
See?
That's what happens.
Yeah, because he's 50 and he's moving too fast.
Now he's upside down.
See?
Oh, these young kids hardly work
this electrical
equipment.
I'm not even joking. You're upside down.
Upside down. You froze and also now you're upside down. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself. I'm upside. I'm right. Shit
like
happens.
Goddamn whippersnappers! How do I fix this new technology?
I actually, Troy, I like that you're upside down. This is cool. This is cool. This is magic.
The Batman logo helps it probably.
It does.
You should put your hands up and be like, "Oh my god, I'm falling!"
I mean, they do call Bat's like Batman is the old man now, and he just decided to hang upside down without hanging upside down. He doesn't spill anything. See, that's what I'm saying. People his age, they don't spill anything. Look at him. That's magnificent. I'm proud of him. But we're gonna wrap this one up. Go ahead.
Anybody who's watching the show, make sure you donate 25 cents to those elderly people.
Yeah, he needs it.
The wrong button too, probably.
See, listen, man, these senior citizens, they mess up, they take themselves out. As you can see, my hands are up here the whole time. I didn't do that. But shout out to Troy though. Show love to Troy. Go check out his channel. Troy Hill Talks. It's an amazing, amazing channel. Make sure you check out my co-host right here, Matt. You and your horror movies, an amazing, phenomenal channel. He has his pod out there now, which he's gonna be dropping some more episodes. He better be.
Yeah, he's working on it.
He's working on it. He's a busy man. But thank you all for watching and listening. Have a great, great night.